for whatever reason, for the longest time, I have just been a weirdo for wanting validation from wherever I can get it. So I'd write a song, and if I was happy with the song, blast it out. Send it to Joe, send it to Jamie, send it to Michael, send it to Chris, send it to Jesse, send it to Dad, send it to Corinne, send it to every freaking body. Just like a crackhead wanting some positive feedback, you know? And it's now I'm just think that's so sad to it's sort of like it's so sad and sort of like heartbreaking to think of someone who's just pouring their heart out and just like begging people to like see you, you know, and to appreciate you and like what you do. And like I'm sure that all stems, as they say, from childhood. Does it stem from childhood? Is that true? That's what they say. People say so many things. But I was reading the other day that you can actually validate yourself. And yes, I read that on ChatGPT. And ChatGPT has a lot of faults, and I have definitely used it wrong, and it ended up torturing my soul and brain, twisting them into snot pretzels. There's useful things it says too, though. You gotta be careful, and you gotta sort through what's fact, what's fiction, what's good, what's bad. But there's good stuff in there. It's a search engine. What are you gonna do? But they were talking about validation and how you want to be seen in a certain way, you know? Like when you work on a piece of art or something like that, or there's something you did you're proud of, maybe you did something at work you're proud of or whatever, and you send it and you tell someone, you want a certain feedback back that isn't just like faint praise. You don't just be like, oh, good job. You want them to recognize the effort you put in, the craftsmanship, the hard work, the hard thought, whatever. There's certain things. So what you can actually do is write down what you wish someone would say to you about your work. And it's pretty satisfying and it feels good. And apparently your brain doesn't know if it's coming from you or coming from anyone else. So if you just tell yourselves the things that you want to hear, it takes away some of that need for validation. Now, you know, you still want to put it out there because you still want feedback. You know, you're capable of making mistakes. You have blind spots, all that kind of stuff. So you want all that, but you don't want to be begging for good job, you know. You don't want to be begging for that. So I've been doing I think I did it twice, wrote down, gave myself a nice little compliment, and it felt good. And I said all the things that I was hoping someone would say, and it was satisfying, like I said. And now I'm not feeling quite the need to get everyone else. And what's funny is that it's definitely getting noticed that I'm not begging for the praise like I used to, because, for instance, one of my friends texted me out of the blue and was like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. So it's, you know, and I guess I'm not talking to people in general as much because as usually all I was doing was begging for, you know, give a clap, pat on the back. And I learned something that I have one friend who I would consider like the tastemaker of all tastemakers. I've always thought he was had a very good eye, very good ear, very thoughtful, very smart critic. And he has never given me 1 ounce of real praise. Now you're probably thinking like, oh, this guy maybe you're not that good. Maybe you don't need that praise. I know a couple of things I did. I know their worth. I know they're good. And I was talking to ChatGPT, and it was basically saying that there's personalities that for whatever reason thrive on a certain energy and on a certain unbalanced energy. I'm wanting something from someone that is incapable of giving it. Just will never. And so I'm never going to get it. And I can try every which way, but it's never going to work. I mean, is it ever going to work? That's what ChatGPT says. But the thing is, I shouldn't be playing this game. Like, at a certain point, you know, I've talked about this so many times, but I think it bears repeating because it's something that's very important to me, and it's something that I think is very important for younger artists to know. Is that you'll know when you make something that's good, that's authentically you. You know it, and you can tell people that all day long, but until they've actually done it, they don't get it. And there's a long time sometimes for people between that gray area of like, is this good? Is this good? Is this good? Is this good? It's not. Or it's okay, but it's not great. And then one day you make something great and you're like, oh, whoa, that was great. I know that was great. So yeah, the whole thing was like, I was like always begging this one person who's incapable of giving me, who's incapable of seeing me in a certain light. And I'm like, please see me in that light. Please see me in that light. And they don't. And then recently I made this thing that I've talked about this, I think, but like sometimes you pass stuff out to people because you want to hear their feedback, because you want to know if it's good or whatever. But there's this shift that I went through where one day I made something that I knew was good and I knew was valuable and I knew was worth something. And when I showed that to people, I wasn't showing them because I wanted to get their opinion or needed their opinion. I was showing them to see them. Like, it was kind of like I had a mirror. And I was like, because when I was younger, I was always like, what do I look like? 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 And everyone tells you, oh, you look like a sailor. Oh, you look like Captain John Wilkes Booth. You look like Captain Ahab. You look like a mouse or whatever. But then one day, I made a mirror. And I said, what do you think I look like now? But it was a mirror. And so I got to see what they think of themselves. And that was eye-opening. Because all of a sudden, I saw what they thought of themselves. I've been asking them what they thought about me. Never thought about asking them what they thought about themselves. And now I have this whole mixed emotional battlefield raging inside of me over this friend. Because on one hand, I very much admire this friend. I love this friend so much, and there's so much about this person that I think is wonderful. But this person has tried to put me under their thumb since as long as I've known them, and I've let them. And now I've noticed I'm under the thumb. So now that I've noticed, it's all about how do I get out from under this thumb? Easiest way to get out from under this thumb, ghost. But I think that's the wrong move, because I think when we run away from things that we think are bad for us, we're wired in a way that we're just going to seek them out elsewhere. So you got to face your battles, maybe, maybe you don't. I feel like I want to face my battles. So I've recognized I'm under this thumb. So there's a shift that has to take place inside of myself. And it's coming. The shift is coming. And I guess I just gotta keep on keeping on and be patient and wait and but at the end of the day, I feel like that Searching for Bobby Fischer movie, that I've been playing chess with this dude forever who's a master chess player, and I'm a novice, and I'm never going to be a master. And the move is to not play that game. Or maybe the move is to play the game, but with the awareness that it's just a game. It's just a game. Doesn't mean anything. See, I was going to say I'm a puzzle piece. Maybe I am.